didn't push record on the mic. Okay. Take a million. Hope my kids are fine. Hello, I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome back to the book channel. Yes, I'm wearing the same shirt as the last video. I understand. That's weird. That happens. I wear this actually a lot at this moment, so it's actually not that surprising that I'm wearing it now. So this video, we are going to be talking about my goals for the 2026 reading year. I have some lofty goals, some fairly achievable goals, and some goals that I need your help with. So let's just jump right into it. We're going to go onto my Storygraph and take a look at some of the more numerical goals. So you'll see right here, I am trying to read 100 books this year. Why? I don't know. I just thought to myself, if I read 2 books a week, that would be more than 100 books. I want to read 100 books at least once, in a year's span, just to say that I did. It's like one of those things. I've run half marathons. I would like to run a full marathon one day, just once, just to say that I've done it. So this is kind of that. I want to say I read 100 books in a year. And then probably the year after that, I'll be so burnt out, I'll read 1 book a month and be happy about it. So right now I've already read 8. We are at January 18th currently as I record this. And according to Storygraph, I am 3 books ahead of my current goal. I like the Storygraph charting because it kind of shows me where I need to be on track. And then if you don't want to do a book goal, you could do a pages goal or a listening hours goal, which I also really appreciate. So right now I am 356 pages ahead of my goal that I would need to get to hit the 20,000 page goal by December 31st. And then I am 35 hours ahead of my current listening goal because I am just eating up rom-com and contemporary fiction at the moment through my ears. I am listening to it currently on 1.6 speed. I've never listened to anything so fast, and I'm having a great time. That is where my mood is taking me right now, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. Storygraph does this thing every year where they try to get you off to a good start reading goal wise. So they have a January pages challenge where if you log pages you've read every day for a month, you get entered into a drawing. So I've been on track with that. I don't expect that to let up. If we go into it, I think we can see what the prizes are. If you do get picked, right here, 5 winners will each receive a Kobo, Libra FM, credits, $100 gift certificate to bookshop.org, and then a Years Plus plan, which I already pay for. But yeah, so that is a fun little thing. And then right here, I have my 2026 alphabet challenge, which, as you can see, I'm already 23% of the way through. It's where you read a book that corresponds with that letter of the alphabet. I love these little challenges. This one is hosted by Ashley J_reads. And if you look right here, it's got 356 participants in it. And what I also like about it is, as you can see, I've already read a book for A. I read A Slow and Secret Poison by Carmela Locus last week, I think. And this book actually comes out in February. This is like an atmospheric, gothic sort of British countryside, early 1900s. I had a really good time with this book. But if you go into the adding books features, you can see what other people are also adding to the A's. So you can kind of get an idea of books. Or I've gone through and just gone, oh, I did want to read that book. I'll add that on. So I'll show you some of the books that I have yet to read and also where I need your help. I need some book recommendations for the letters I don't have yet. So B, we've got checked. We've got Blood Marked, which is the 2nd book in the Legendborn series. I'm planning to read this year. All of the books are in the Alphabet series. We've got Cursed Daughters, Deep End, which I'm currently listening to. I've never read Ali Hazelwood before. This is my 2nd book by her. I read Two Can Play a couple days ago. Was not a huge fan of it, but I'm giving Ali Hazelwood another try. I always give authors a second try. Or I should say I often give authors a second try. So I'm currently listening to this. Just started that tonight. Emperor of Shadows for E. I read First Time Caller for F. This was my first B.K. Borson book, and I had such a fun time with First Time Caller. I'm excited for And Now Back to You, and also Good Spirits, which I added to G. This came out, I think, this past year, and it's getting such big rave reviews that I added it to this challenge. How to Do Nothing. This is a nonfiction book about allowing yourself to be bored, which I am on this big journey at this moment of trying to do less scrolling. So I think that this kind of falls into that. I feel like I'm really close to having read enough books in that realm, but that's on there nonetheless. Now, I should also say that all of these books could change. Like, I am not married to any one of these books in that alphabet. I'll replace it. If I start reading a different book with an H before I read How to Do Nothing, I will put that into the alphabet thing and read that one instead. You see, I've read I and J. I've read I Want to Die, But I Want to Eat Teppanyaki, and I read Just for the Summer. I've never read Abby Jimenez either, like her, or Ali Hazelwood, or B.K. Borson, all of these like bigger, more well-known contemporary romance writers I've never read before, so I'm going to do more by her this year as well. This book was only okay to me, so I'm interested to see if all of them still kind of hit the same. I will go over all these books later when I do my monthly wrap up, but you can see a few of the books I've already read. Catabasis for K, Here's Legend Born, like I said. I read Margot's Got Money Troubles, which is such an interesting read. More to say on that when I do my wrap up. None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, which I got free from the library. So I do have a copy of that already on my shelf. There's the third. I'm pretty sure this is the third book. I might have them mixed up. No, it is. Okay. So Oathbound. And then P, Paper Towns by John Green, brings me to another goal I have for myself this year. I have read John Green when I was in high school. When I was a teenager, I read the big sort of fiction books you think of when you think of John Green. I know he's come out with his book on tuberculosis. Have I ever said that word out loud? I don't know. And the Anthropocene Reviewed. Why the words? Doesn't help that this is like the third time I'm trying to record this with everything working, so yikes. Anyway, I read John Green as a teenager, and I would really like to spend some time this year revisiting books I read and loved as a teen. I loved An Abundance of Catherines and Looking for Alaska, and felt fine with The Fault in Our Stars. So I got a copy of Paper Towns from Bull Moose. It was in the clearance section, so I've already got it up on the shelf, and I am so interested to revisit it because as an adult I still do dabble in YA. I just finished a YA fantasy trilogy a few days ago. When I read books like that, I try to tap into who I was at the time when I really enjoyed those books and what I enjoyed about those books. So I think to help me really pin that down, I should read the books I loved and know that I loved. So this is me trying to do that. I also just want to spend more time with a piece of literature to just feel like a more intimate connection to the work itself. I just burn through books so quickly that I don't really spend a lot of time truly like digging into the characters as much as when I was a teenager. I read the Harry Potter series every summer for about 4 years straight. I'm very acquainted with the work, so I would like to do that again through rereads. So Paper Towns will be a reread for me this year. And then Q&R, this is when I need your help. This is where I need you guys. I need a book that starts with a Q and I need a book that starts with an R. And I don't want to do any of these prompts with the word the or a in the front of it. So if we open this up, which I like that I can kind of, again, peruse what other people have put, you can see someone's put The Quiet People. And I don't want to do that for this challenge specifically for me. I mean, if we get to November and I still haven't gotten anything to fill the prompts, then I'll start thinking about doing something that starts with the, but I don't want to yet. So if you have any Q or R books to recommend, please recommend them. For S, I've got Spectacular Things. And this is a Maine author, and over this past year I've been trying to read a bit more by Maine authors, so this is an attempt at that. Two Can Play, like I said, by Allie Hazelwood. I just finished this past week. I Need Help with U and V. I've got Witchcraft for Wayward Girls under W. Nothing for X. Yesteryear under Y, which this, I believe, gets released much later on in the year. This is like I don't know what it's classified as, horror? Thriller, okay. Where this influencer who lives the trad life online gets thrown back to like the 1800s and now has to deal with that. And I'm very interested in this kind of, it's interesting that it's under fiction literary thriller when it feels like there's a fantastical element to it. So I'm interested in that. And then I need a book for Z. So yeah, that's kind of where I need your help with this particular goal. I need some letters. Z, X, V, U, R, and Q. I need help with. I need some book recommendations for that. So that's 3 of my goals. My lofty goal of 100 books. My kind of more silly, whimsical goal of reading books that start with every letter of the alphabet. And my heartfelt goal of revisiting my favorite books from when I was a teenager / young adult. And my final goal for the year is to attend a real life book club. The library that I regularly go to, I go and do a craft night at, but they don't have a book club. However, there is a library in the opposite direction that does do a book club every month. And I looked on their website and I saw what book they are reading for February's book club meeting. And I got the book on the library app, and it is What Kind of Paradise by Janelle Brown. And I started reading that last night. It's a thriller, which is kind of outside of my typical picks. But as you saw with Yesteryear, I'm giving a bunch of genres a chance here. I'm more of a mood reader personally. So that's my last goal, more of like a social goal. I would like to go to at least one book club meeting at that library because it's open to the public. It's very clear and I can just drop in and go do it. And they clearly post their books online, so I know ahead of time. So my goal is to read this book so that way when February comes, if I am able to and have the courage to, I can go to that book club meeting, which would be exciting and nerve-wracking and all of the things. And if I go, I will let you know how it all plays out. My voice is shot since I've just recorded this 3 times in a row. I'm hoping all of the pieces are working this time. Let me know what bookish goals you have for yourself this year. Are you even doing a book amount goal? I'm having a caveat with that goal. Like if I know that I can't reach 100, I'm going to change it back to my original goal, which was 60. That one is just like I would like it if I could, and hopefully I can, but I'm not going to stress myself out over it because I don't want to take the fun out of reading. That sounds bad and miserable. So let me know, what book goals do you have? And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. And I will see you in the next one.